Good evening, everyone. It's another Torah 14 video coming at you. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about last week's parshat Terumah. And in last week's parsha, it talked about all the measurements in the Mishkan and all of the different parts in the Mishkan. So I'm going to start off with a story. There was once a king, and he came over an inn, and he wanted his sons and daughters, the princesses and the princes, to stay at the inn. But the inn was just a normal inn. It was like for random newcomers, for like peasants. And the king said, if you make it in time, and if you let my daughter stay here, you'll be greatly rewarded. You'll be able to hold bishops here and all other royal people here. But if you fail, you're going to be thrown into the deepest dungeon and nobody's going to ever see you again. So he says, but I don't have the money to renovate it. So the king gives him a lot of gold coins to renovate it, and he renovated it in the next 6 weeks. The next 6 weeks, the princesses were gonna come, and so in 3 weeks, he was finished building the whole. He was finished renovating the whole inn. He swept the floors. He made the beds good. He put everything that would be fit for royalty. And he was waiting outside, and he was sitting outside. He was bored. He had nothing else to do. And there were 3 men. They came passing by, and they said, "We want to stay here." And he said, and the innkeeper said, "We can't stay here because this is for the royalty." And they said, "Either you take our money and let us stay, or we're gonna take your head." So he just let them stay. The first night they stay, they were drunk, there was blood and dirt all over the floors, everything was messed up, and the whole inn got messed up. And the king came afterwards, and they went inside, and the innkeeper, he tried to clean up everything in the last minute, but he couldn't. They walked into the rooms. There were people sleeping in the beds. The whole floor was all dirty, and it was all messed up. It wasn't fit for royalty. So the king threw him into the deepest dungeon, and nobody ever saw him again. So this relates to the parsha by Hashem wants us to be with us. He wants to make our mind. He wants our mind fit for royalty. He wants us to be thinking about him all the time. But bad thoughts can go into the mind. Anything that's happening on today, anything that you copy Goyim, anything that you do, it's gonna go bad into your mind. It's gonna destroy your mindset on Hashem, and Hashem's not gonna want to be with you. You're gonna have a dirty mindset. So that's the story. And I have a second story that talks about envy. So there were 2 foxes, and the Lion King, they found favor in the Lion King's eyes. So he told them to come over to the palace. And they came over to the palace, and he said to them, "I must warn you that I'm going to give to the second fox more money, greater payment, because he did a greater job." And the first fox heard this, and he's like, "Give me the same amount as him, and I'll also give you my eye." So this is teaching us, you'll even give your eye just so you'll have the same amount as somebody else. This is out of jealousy. This is stupidity too, because you're being as stupid as taking out your eye. It's all out of jealousy. You're not able to accept what Hashem gives you. And a way to take out the envy, to not let it come into your mind, is that you should have, of course, faith and trust in Hashem. You should always follow Hashem. You have to study good books. You have to study the Chumash, all of the Sfarim, and you'll have a good set. You'll get rid of envy, and you'll accept that whatever Hashem gives you is because you deserved it. What you get is what you deserve. It's what you get, and don't get upset. So that's the stories, and that's the mashal with the 2 foxes. And now I'm going to talk about the different parts of the Mishkan. So the Mishkan, it was in a rectangle kind of yard. In the back there was a singular room, and all the way in the back was the Kodesh HaKadoshim where the Aaron the Aron was. So I'm going to explain to you what the Aron is. I have a model here of the Aron, and these two sticks are called the badim. Now, the badim, they never left. They were used to carry it, because if you touch this, you would die. So they were used to carry it over the shoulders and to cover this. The next are the cheruvim over here. They're the two angels. They have child's faces. When they face each other with the wings, that means that Bnei Israel is connected to Hashem and that they're doing good with each other. But if they're facing away, that means that Bnei Israel is not connected to Hashem and they're not doing good with each other. Next is the zar, the crown that goes around the box. And the box, there's 3 boxes, and they have the luchos, the Torah of Moshe, and the actual the broken luchos. The first box is made out of gold, the second is made out of wood, and then the third is made again with gold. And the last thing is the keparos, which is the angels. Again, the keparos is the actual angels, and this is the holiest part of the mikdash, and it's very holy. David buried it very deep into the ground, and we can't find it today. So in the next part of the Mishkan, on the outside of that room, there is a mini mizbeach, and there is a menorah. When Shlomo was king, he put 12 sets of each. So I have again another model for the mini mizbeach. So it was 2 amos high, 1 amma in width, and the zer zachav again is the crown. The keren are all these boxes on the corners, and overall it's just the mizbeach, the small mizbeach that they did small offerings on. And this is also a very holy object. They're all very holy. They're all made for royalty, as I said before. And on the outside of that room, there's the kior, where Aaron and his sons used to wash their hands with, so they weren't tameh. And the last part on the Mishkan is the large mizbeach, and it has a ramp. So when the cow goes up, it's not hard. It doesn't hurt itself walking up. So it doesn't feel any pain. So it's easy to. They made a ramp, so it's easy to walk up for the cows and all the animals. Around the mizbeach, there's a cloth, and it's not a cloth. It's like a curtain, and they numbered each of the curtains, Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, and it went all the way around. So that's the Mishkan. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and have a great night. Baruch Adonai L'olam, Amen v'Amen.